Ever since Toyota ceased production of the Celica, there have been a whole legion of loyal fans waiting for Toyota's latest offering, or the replacement rather. This is the GT86. Tell me all about it.
Well, the GT86 is having its European premiere here in Geneva, a very long-awaited car. So we will have this car in sale throughout Europe in the coming weeks.
Yes.
So a lot of fans and a lot of media are really waiting for this car. It's a very lightweight car with 200 horsepower and a very low center of gravity. It delivers really pure driving pleasure, and definitely passion is back at Toyota.
Right, and what sort of engine? Is it conventionally aspirated? It's not turbocharged? Or?
It's not turbocharged,
Yep.
It's conventional aspiration engine, and we wanted really to come back to the basics with this
Right.
car. Come back to what has made the heritage, the sport heritage of Toyota,
Yes.
without any electronics, really the driver in
So
control of
this
this
is a
car.
pure experience?
Pure, yeah.
Rear-wheel drive?
Rear-wheel drive, it's a 2.0 boxer engine with direct injection,
Right.
delivering 200 horsepower.
So with a boxer engine you can sit that fairly low on the chassis as well?
Yes, we are at around 650 millimeters from the ground.
What sort of gearbox?
We will have a manual, 6-speed manual, and an automatic transmission in Europe.
Going back, obviously, I can't help but compare it to the original Celicas going back to the 1990s and so on, one of my favourite cars. Are there any plans possibly to do a four-wheel drive or a super performance version later, do you know of?
Well, this is not planned at this stage, but of course, as the chief engineer wanted from the beginning, is really pure driving, no turbocharger, to make sure that we come back to our origin, our roots, about sports car.
Very much a pure sort of experience.
Exactly, and the first drives we had with some European journalists were great, and I think most of them were enthusiastic, and they almost didn't want to get out of the cockpit.
Always a good sign.
Exactly.
Inside the car, everything's clearly very well laid out. What makes it special?
Well, as you can see, it's really the interior has been really designed around the driver. It's a driver-focused, area. As you can see, all the controls, all the information are designed to be in front of the
It's very,
the
very
driver.
immediate.
Exactly. So also, the steering wheel is one of the smallest
Yes.
ever developed by Toyota. Very, very short, very small, which help you when you're driving to have a full control of the car.
Sure, you don't really notice the fact there's an airbag there other than the sign. Obviously looking at cruise control, push start stop for the engine, rotary controls for the temperature.
Exactly, and you will see we have some carbon element on the dashboard and metal parts also to give the sports feel inside the cabin.
Very much so. A bit of luxury too. Really comfortable seats, and they're heated, as I see.
Yeah, exactly. So also we have delivered, we will have a very good audio system with navigation. So all the equipment that you need, to travel to the south of France or
Sure.
to Spain.
Is it a genuine four-seater or more of a 2+2?
It's more a 2+2.
Sure. Although it's a very, very low boot, there's an awful lot of space if I reach in.
Exactly. I think it will be also ideal if you go for weekends. You and your wife, you can put 2 suitcases easily. So
Yeah.
and also perhaps when you arrive, in a nice place, you can, if you have relatives or friends, just for a short journey, they can sit at the back.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see you could get 2 more adults in the back. I could certainly crawl into the boot. It's a lot bigger than it actually looks.
Exactly. So I think this car you really will be for your weekends. So
Yep.
either driving around where you're living, but also going for weekends.
So in brief, Toyota have made a practical car that's fun as well.
Yes, definitely. Because also I think this is the kind of car that you will drive during weekends to have fun.
Yep.
To go with some of your family, to go all around. But this means that you need also some boot space, at least, to have 2 suitcases. So definitely we have enough space here.
Get the feeling it would be very, very easy to live with.
I think so, and also what is very important, it will be affordable.
And of course, the sales figures are going to evidence that, hopefully.
Yeah, so in Europe we're planning the first full year to sell around 15,000 GT86. and based on demand, perhaps this will increase in the
Sure.
coming years.
Underneath the bonnet, obviously this extremely compact boxer engine, very, very low down, a lot of tech going on in there. It's an extremely neat design. This is producing how much power?
So this engine delivers 200 horsepower and 205 Newton meters at 6,000 RPMs. So it's the result of the collaboration between Subaru and Toyota, each company bringing their know-how and experience. Subaru from one side, boxer engines, and Toyota direct injection technology.
Yes, and they've done things like keeping the battery and so on. The weight's very much towards the centre of the car, isn't it, rather than sort of perched out on the front wings.
Exactly. One of the key aspects when developing this car is to make sure that the weight is well balanced throughout the entire vehicle.
Interesting as well, because you've got this collaboration between Subaru and Toyota, both a lot of success in rallying and so on, and I imagine that technology is going to find its way down to the production cars as well.
Yes, but here in this car, in the GT86, it will mainly be proven technology, because we have already the direct injection on production cars at Toyota side, and of course Subaru is already having the boxer engines in production cars.
Of course. I understand there's something special about the tyres on the GT86.
Yes, exactly. If I ask you which tyres from which vehicle would be these tyres coming from?
It's a 215, so it's a reasonably wide tyre, 215 517. I would have thought something fairly sporty.
Well, this is the same tyres as we have on a Prius.
Really?
Yes. I'm going to explain you why. We wanted to put the Prius tyre with low resistance tyres to make sure that the tyres will be able to convey the dynamics of the chassis.
Right.
If you put high grips tyres, you might lose what the overall vehicle can deliver. So with this kind of tyre, the ones of the Prius, we are sure, and this is the best match to make sure that let's say the pure driving pleasure, or the chassis, what the chassis can deliver, will be delivered through these tyres.
Sure, and I can understand it's one of the most important components. Get the engine, get the suspension, get everything else right. If the tyres are no good,
Exactly.
it all falls apart.
The selection of tyre is key, because it can completely go against what you've built until, let's say, selecting the tyres. So the tyres should be just a next step to the ground to deliver the purity of what the characteristics of the chassis.
And they're specifically Michelin tyres.
Sorry?
They're specifically Michelin tyres.
Yeah.